Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Reality Club.
On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Age of Attraction reunion slash season. We didn't really talk about it last week.
We just kind of brushed over it.
We mentioned that we're watching it and then said absolutely nothing else about it.
Yes.
But since then, the reunion aired, which honestly, I feel like I wanted to wait till the reunion came out because I feel like the season itself... Sorry, there's a hair on my mic. The season itself ended so, like... I don't know, it just, there wasn't, I feel like it just ended and I was like, okay. The reunion was what I was waiting for. I wanted to see, like, what actually happened after. Did people stay together? What happened, you know? Because I feel like at the end they just were like, do you want to date? Yeah? Cool.
I know for some reason I thought the ending was going to end in proposals.
Well,
so
I
it was
mean,
kind of shocking that it was just, we're dating after this. That just seems too easy.
I know.
But I guess it's better off that way.
No, I get it, but I just feel like it was, like, anticlimactic, you know? It's like, you stay in this experiment, you live together, and then all you have to do is go to the top of a mountain and say, do you want to keep dating? Yeah. Yes. And they made it this, like, big thing. It's the commitment ceremony. I'm like, you literally just have to say, yeah, let's try dating or not dating.
Do it for the cameras and deal with it after. Like,
but so it was, like, a little anticlimactic for me. Like, I don't know, it didn't feel like that big of a commitment that you had to make.
No.
Like, what, you say, yes, let's date, and you're just long distance.
I know, that's why it was a lot more relaxed than I was expecting.
Yeah. So that's why I was waiting for the reunion, because that's where we'd get actual information about, like, what happened after, right?
Which I think the reunion, do you know how many months after? 9? 8?
I think it was, like, almost, yeah, like, close to almost a year.
Okay, yeah.
After, like, they finished filming and stuff, because I'm pretty sure... It was like last spring that they filmed, so that would make sense.
So enough time to try their relationships out in the real world.
Yes. Well, some of them.
Most started out. They might not have lasted more than a month, but...
What did you think about the reunion being on a podcast?
I was going to ask you that. I thought it was strange.
What about it? Like, I think I liked that it was longer than, like, 45 minutes. Like, obviously reunions are like an hour, but they're like cut down into, there's a bunch of random stuff that's in between, and I feel like sometimes reunions can be a hit, or like 95% of the time it's a miss because they don't ask the hard-hitting questions, or they do but they cut out half of it to like make it fit into the TV slot. So I enjoyed that they could just have open conversations and we can see basically everything they talked about.
For the most part, it seemed like nothing was really cut out of it. Like, I felt like they showed us everything they filmed. I could be wrong about that, but that was just the impression I got.
It was 3 hours, so
it seemed like there was still a lot of fluff in there that maybe didn't need to be. Like, sometimes people would just keep talking and I was like, okay, if this was like a real reunion, they would have cut this part out. Like, so it's nice that they kept it, but sometimes it was just like...
it was long. I didn't watch it all in one. I don't even think I actually finished it fully.
No, I finished it in 2 settings.
The
first
I definitely
night and then the next morning.
Skipped through some stuff. What did you think about Nick and Natalie's hosting?
Okay, so I've never seen their podcast before or heard it.
Okay.
So I didn't have much to compare to with how they are.
Yeah.
I thought she was doing a really good job. I thought he looked so uncomfortable the whole time and looks like he was like... on something.
What? Wow, that's so funny.
That's literally the first thing I wrote down in my notes. I'm like, why does Nick Viall look high right now? I felt like he just looked so out of place. Like, she seemed really comfortable with the group, like talking whatever. Yeah. He didn't, which I found weird because
it's his podcast,
and I feel like he's been podcasting longer than her.
Oh, for sure. I don't know. I didn't think he was uncomfortable, but to me, he did what Nick Viall does the best, and he always, I think he's a very unbiased host, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like he always relates things to his own experiences, which I don't think in general is bad. I feel like there is an element of hosting that I think makes you personable when you can be like, I can talk about my experience and like relate to you.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes he hosts through his own lens of his own life experiences, and so sometimes he'll just talk too much about his own experience And I'm like, this isn't about you, you know?
So then was this how he is usually during a podcast?
Oh yeah, during a podcast, it's very like, this is my lived experience. This is what I've experienced.
Okay.
And again, I don't think like as a whole that's wrong. I
Yeah.
think that can make interesting conversation, like make you more relatable. But in this scenario, I think it makes sense to talk maybe about your relationship, like age gap struggles as a relation, because you are the host of an age gap show and you have your age gap relationship. So I don't think it's bad, but there's some moments where I was like, it doesn't really matter what you've been through, actually.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. I guess he's used to doing podcasts where like you're having a conversation with someone and you're bouncing off like
Right. Whereas
your
he was
own
trying to
opinions and experiences to the other person. Whereas this was like, no, we didn't come to hear from you, Nick. We came to like hear from this cast.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's fair.
I did. So as a whole, I did like that it was longer than a traditional 1 hour, because I think we did get more info. But I did think there was definitely boring parts of it, and it was a little too long. It was more like a turn on in the background type of reunion.
Yep.
But honestly, if we got the info, we got the info. So
I think they did a good job at asking the right questions, and like me feeling like concluded to that. Like, I don't know. I kind of felt like all the questions I had got wrapped up with that, and I was left like, you know what? This is good. This is it.
I mean, the thing is, if there's a typical reunion, those people will usually go on a podcast after anyway.
Yeah.
But it was nice to just have them all in like the same room, except for Pfiefer. Which, interesting. What did you think about the fact that, like, I guess we could just talk about them first because they didn't have that much going on. But the fact that she wasn't there, and they still, I don't know. I didn't like how there was such a long segment about them because she wasn't there.
Yeah, but I think it's fair for him.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's right that he still should have got his time and part to, like, speak his truth and everything.
I guess, but then we don't get to see her side.
That's what sucked. And she actually did post a TikTok afterwards
did.
Explaining everything and, like, telling her side of it.
So what did you think about that scenario? Because, like, what I gained from...
apparently she was in Japan with her new boyfriend.
Okay.
During this.
Okay.
So she's in a whole new relationship, which is fine because, yes, it's been, like, 8-9 months after. But I feel like it put him in a hard situation because obviously like they want to hear about their relationship, but like it's also not fair for him to always be speaking for her.
Well, it's not that he's speaking for her, it's that like there's obviously going to be two perspectives of a relationship.
Yeah.
And I don't think necessarily his perspective is wrong, but it's like we're only getting his side. And not that there was like obviously some crazy follow, but I was a little confused on to what happened because I feel like he was trying to be respectful of her by like obviously not like talking badly or like,
I think he did a good job of that.
I think I don't think he was like saying anything negatively about her, but I think he was trying to be careful with what he said because he didn't want to be too one-sided because she wasn't there. But because of that, I feel like I didn't really get the gist of what happened in their relationship, right? Because she wasn't there to defend herself, but like if he wanted to say, he probably would have said more if she was there so she had the chance to respond.
Oh, yeah.
But because she wasn't, I feel like he was kind of just like giving a really vague story so that he could kind of say what happened, but not be like, not giving her space either, you know?
Yeah, which I respect, but it also kind of sucks because you're
for
right,
the viewer.
You didn't really
like, what happened?
get
like from
clarity as to what happened. The only thing we found out was that she lived in a sorority house, which I thought was so funny.
Yeah, like literally
he's like a 45-year-old man, 2 kids that are like almost pre-teenage, and she's still living in a sorority, which I don't think he knew about.
No, I think that was the kind of the storyline there, but I was like, so what happened? Like I don't know. I think in that relationship, I think she probably just didn't know what she was getting herself into, and then as soon as she got home, I guess his storyline was kind of saying that her friends influenced her to like not date him anymore,
which is fair because I'm pretty sure he lived in a different state.
I think Dallas.
Yeah, so like what he was trying to say was like he wasn't going to move to her, his kids are in school, like this is where they grew up, like that's his home base.
Yeah,
so it makes sense. She met someone after 6 weeks and she's just gonna like pack up her whole life and move
this is where I was so confused because their storyline throughout like their whole like Vancouver experience, when she started having doubts, she kept being like, I have to pick up my entire life and move. And I was like, yeah, but you don't have to do that right away. Like, yes, of course that would be the reality eventually, because he obviously isn't in a position as flexible. So yes, if you do want to be together in person one day, you probably would have to move there. But like, you could just be like, let's be long distance for a little bit, see if we even like each other enough to actually move. You know what I mean? Like, why
also,
was
like, what did you expect leaving it? Like, you obviously talked about these things during it. You knew you weren't in the same city. They're a couple that I did think was gonna break up at the end.
Yeah, she seemed very doubtful.
Yes.
But honestly, I think, and I can understand her position, I just don't understand why there was like this rush for her to move right away.
I don't even know if he did rush her though.
I don't know if he rushed her, but I'm just saying in general, that was like their storyline.
Well, I don't know. I'm just picturing like she's early 20s.
22,
she got back home.
23.
She's in her house with her roommates. You're all yapping. You're all talking about what just happened. They're looking at her like, you're gonna date a 45-year-old man with 2 kids. Like, I can totally see how her friends' opinions kind of got to her.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
So like, it sucks, but like, I don't know. That's something that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
And I think they said it lasted like a month outside of the show.
Yeah.
So, which sucks, like not even really giving it a chance to see where it could go. But
yeah, but I don't know.
she was, you know.
She wasn't there to say much, and he was being respectful, and
yeah.
But yeah, it was just kind of funny because I'm like, what are we even trying to say here? That she lived in a sorority and you guys broke up?
It's great. Answered
but,
all our questions. It's perfect.
So yeah, it wasn't much there, but obviously they didn't end up together.
No.
Which I didn't expect, so.
No. I didn't expect them to make it out of the show. So the fact that they lasted a month after that, still surprising to me.
Yeah.
But no, it's probably for the best.
Okay, so one of the couples that I think was the most interesting on this, or at least I have a lot of thoughts on it, was Libby and Andrew.
Yeah,
is his name? Okay, sorry. It's been a while. It's been a whole week.
Yeah.
Libby and Andrew. So
I didn't think you were gonna go to them next.
Yeah, they were the most interesting to me because she's also was 22, so similar situation as Pfiefer and oh my gosh,
Derrick.
Libby and Andrew, so she's 22 and he was 39,
yeah.
And he also has 2 kids, similar age, teens.
Similar age to her.
Okay, so this one surprised me, I think, the most because they're one of the 2 couples that are still together. That surprised me.
Yeah.
But once I heard them talk, and once I heard their relationship, I understand why they're still together. Because they're
doing the long distance.
They're doing long distance.
Yeah.
So it seems to me that it's a very fun, low committal relationship.
Yeah. They just see each other when they're on like
a holiday.
Weekend getaways, trips. Yep.
So that, and the fact that it's been a year and she hasn't met the daughters.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
So I understand because I feel mixed feelings because I've actually been in this situation.
Right. That's what I want to ask you.
So I think this was the most interesting to me, because this relationship in general, because I also dated someone older, not that much older, not as old as Derrick, who had a child when I was 22. And I remember at that time thinking that I was very ready for, I was like, oh yeah, stepmom, so fun. Like, I remember thinking, and not even just like, I just genuinely thought I knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I genuinely thought that I understood life, and I with my whole being believed that. Now I'm 30 and looking back, it's like, what was I had no idea what I was thinking.
You were a child. You were a child.
I was a preteen.
Just like the child, you were the child.
I was also a child. No, but so it was very interesting to me because I don't think she fully grasps the situation, because I think she thinks she knows what the situation's going to be like, but it's been a full year and she doesn't even have an idea yet of what the reality of the situation is, because how they're currently in a relationship is not a long-term realistic relationship.
No, it's not at all what it would be like if they lived in the same city, if she was either living with him and his girls. Like,
it feels like a dream. It feels like this like early lovebird honeymoon phase all the time.
Yeah. I'm surprised that they are still together, but yeah, when they explained it that way, I was like, well, no shit. Like, you haven't tried the real world together, and that's kind of the whole point.
Yes.
But I guess it's similar circumstances where they live in different states.
I also think, like, his decision for her not to meet them, to me, I understand he's saying, I don't want to just, like, introduce anyone to my kids. Totally respect that. Like, no questions asked, understand, because that is tough on kids to meet someone, think they're like some type of figure in your life, and then constantly just be like, if it's wrong, it's like a revolving door, you know. So I totally respect that decision. It's just interesting to me that, like, it's been a year. Like, a year's a long time.
Well, that's what confuses me, because he says he's waiting for that one person, waiting for it to feel right. But when does that come when you've been with someone already for a year? And if you don't have that feeling with her right now, I'm not saying you have to feel it right away, but, like, I don't know. It sounds like he's kind of leading her on a bit right now.
Yeah.
If I were in her shoes, I'd be confused. I'd be like, well, we've been together a year now.
I know.
If we're not going to that next step, then why are we even together?
Yeah.
And I mean, in her scenario, it might still be like, she's young. She's just having fun. She's just dating. She's not looking for that, like, husband yet, which is, like, perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But, like, he's probably 40 now. He was 39 on the show, so he's probably 40 now.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not looking for a wife. That's fine. But, like, I don't know. I feel like they're just still in this in-between stage of their relationship, which...
Well, yeah, because even...
doesn't feel, like, seem great.
Yeah. And even Nick asked her, because after he explained, like, the whole reason why he doesn't want to introduce her, which, again, totally respect. I have no, like, questions on that. But if I was in that scenario with somebody, if I was dating someone after a year, and I'm not saying you have to, like, pressure someone into meeting your kids. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just mean, like, I would probably start having these little thoughts and doubts about where our relationship is going.
Being her or being him?
Being her.
Yeah.
Because Nick asked her, do you ever take that and think, well, and question what he's thinking about the strength and quality of our relationship, or, like, future? He asked her that because I think that's a valid question. If he's saying, oh, I'm waiting until I know for sure it's the person. And I'm not saying after a year you need to for sure know it's the person, but it's a long time. And so, like, I would probably be like, do you think this is going somewhere long term?
Well, I guess it's a long time, but then again, it might be they only see each other, like, once a month.
True.
For, like, a weekend.
Yeah.
So they could have been dating, yes, a year, but that might only be, like, I don't know, 9-10 dates or 9-10 weekends together.
Yeah.
Which in a year, like, isn't that much.
Yeah. So yeah, that was an interesting dynamic to me. I kind of got the vibes, again, I don't really know anything, but just from the vibes, it felt a little bit like he's not sure that she's, like, his long-term partner, and they're just having some fun. But I feel like she thinks that they are long-term partners.
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibes I got.
Well, I'm getting the vibe that he's having fun with a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
She's blonde, she's cute, she's young, like, he's having a good time.
And she thinks she understands the scope of the situation, but even
yes.
when Nick asked, are you going to move in together? Are you going to move to the same city? And he asked if Libby was going to move to where Andrew and his kids are, and it was immediately no. That was not an option. The option was, we're going to live in Florida, and he's going to split his time in Florida with her and then back home with his kids. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it just seems messy.
That's so interesting. So you guys are going to have, like, he's just going to have his, like, fantasy life in Florida and then go home to his kids?
Also kind of, I feel like, I think it was him. It was either him or Derek, but I'm pretty sure it was him when he was talking about the mother of his kids.
Yeah.
And, like, they had asked, like, oh, have they met?
Oh, yeah.
And he was kind of, like, weird about that, too. Like, oh, well, it's up to her. And I'm like, okay, like I totally get that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like I also feel like that's a really important step if you're like wanting to be with this girl for like long term. Like you'd want her to know and be comfortable or just like get to know like your baby mama.
Yeah.
But I've also never been in that situation before, so I don't know. I also don't know, like, is it easier to introduce your new partner to younger kids or older kids? Like, does it matter?
Right.
I feel like when they're like baby age, it's easy to obviously like deal with that. But when they're like preteen age, like she's closer to the kid's age than to his.
I know.
And like
Yeah.
one comment that he made like on one of the episodes was saying like, oh, I just wanted to be like big sister vibes with my kids. Like that's weird. So I don't know. Their whole relationship's weird to me. But I see them on my TikTok all the time posting now.
Oh, really?
So
I'm not on TikTok, so I don't see them.
yeah, they come up a lot.
But they're probably like at the beach.
They are. They actually are. They're always having fun, which makes
And by
sense.
the way, I'm not judging. I'm just observing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just observing.
No, I mean, good for them.
I guess we'll
they
see.
they made it out of this show. Like that's awesome. Just see where it goes. I don't know. Like I said, I can't say anything because I've never dated someone with kids, or I've never had kids and dated someone. So you really don't know what that feels like until you're in that situation.
I do.
I know, that's why. That's why I put you on the spot. I wanted to know.
I think that's why I'm kind of like, when I think of her, I'm like, I think she thinks she understands.
Well, I remember feeling like a full-on grown-up when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah, you're like,
You
I
feel
think
so mature. You feel like you're on top of the world. Like I totally get that.
And the reality is, it's like, the thing is, he keeps saying, I don't want to like get in the way of her experiences or her life, which is so valid, because like thinking about my early 20s and like all the things I got to just like experience and do because I had no commitments, really, like no big commitments, like kids. And I don't think she understands the scope of that because she's not been involved with the actual parenting side, which she doesn't have to be the parent, but like she's not been involved in like, okay, I moved to where he lives and like we can't just travel all the time because of it. I guess his kids are older, but
yeah, but
it's like,
still, it's different.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you guys are together all the time, you're who he puts first. You're his number one.
Yeah.
Whereas you've never been in that situation where you're not the number one anymore, because obviously he would pick his children over like a new girlfriend any day, and that's just like the reality of it.
Yeah. So
that's also something.
So I want an update when they've like,
I want to know when she meets the daughters. That is important. I hope they post that on TikTok.
Yeah. I did like, just to, because I guess we didn't really talk about the season, but I did love when her friends met him.
Oh,
that was so funny. Her friend that's the kind of friend you need, the one that's just like straight up.
No, I know. They were like such, not like a childish group, but like it just felt like they were just a bunch of teenagers.
No, yeah, it made her seem like her age, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing
at all.
It's just like, yeah, it was,
but it was funny. Yeah. But no, they're also a couple. Like, I'll be honest, like when the last episode aired, I expected one couple to end up together. I didn't know which one, but I just thought one would. It didn't seem like any of these relationships were going anywhere, and it seemed like everyone was letting the whole age thing get in the way, when like that was the whole point of the show.
I know.
Like, that's what I don't get, is that you literally went on this show called Age of Attraction,
but I don't know if they understood what the show concept was.
They must not have, because I don't understand how everyone is still like, oh my god, the whole age thing. Like, that's the point. That's why you went on the show, I assume.
I just don't think they fully comprehended. Like, I don't know. I feel like Netflix, or just really any show, can cast with a very vague outline of what the parameters of the show are. Like, a lot of times they're like, we're casting for this show on the beach. Like, Too Hot to Handle, for example. Like, when that came out, they didn't tell them anything about it, right? Or like, a lot of times they'll just tell them like a general, it's a love show, or it's a...
True.
Right? They don't say, this is the point of the show. They might have said, hey, you're gonna go on a dating show in Vancouver.
But they obviously put in the casting ages like 19 to 65. Like, I don't know. I feel like
they might have said, oh, there's gonna be ages this to this there, but they might not have said the point of the show is to try to date someone like without knowing their age. It could have literally just been like ages 22 here, dating show. Like,
okay, I'll give him some grace for that then. I'll cut him some slack a bit.
you know, I highly doubt they went into this show going, I'm going to a show I'm supposed to find like an age gap relationship.
Okay, there are no excuses for the next season then that they're casting. Because they're
probably
pretty
already
out in the
filmed.
open
It's probably
about
already
it.
filmed.
No, they did a casting call.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they're getting there. But no,
I don't know if this show has lasting power.
I don't think it does either. I think it might last one more season and that's it. But I'm also like, now that I feel like people know that they can come on the show and not get married out of it.
Yeah.
I feel like
a lot
it's
less
less
commitment.
and there's more people willing to go on it that probably shouldn't be going on it. But I do find with an older audience that, I mean, I could be wrong, but I assume they're there for the right reasons, whereas younger people are maybe just there for like a bit of attention, clout, you know?
Chris.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Chris?
You get Chris.
Chris and Leah? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot the names. He was one that was also a really weird one.
I mean,
once again,
that was like, I feel like they were out of all of the couples, like they were like the least aired. Like we saw the least about their relationship. We didn't even see really their relationship in Whistler or when they were in the retreat.
Yeah, not really.
We saw like 2 conversations and then all of a sudden they were like in the commitment room.
Yeah. He kind of pissed me off.
Yeah. They didn't commit to each other. No, they didn't commit to each other on the mountain, which, shocker, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that one was a predictable.
I did feel for her though, because I feel like I think she should have maybe known better, like, but I guess his words, he was saying to her all of these things, like, and I feel like they tried to portray it like she was this like needy person, but from what I saw of it was like he was like emotionally unattached, but telling her, oh, I'm committed, I want you, I want to do these things, and she was just being like, okay, I'm trusting you. And then it came across like she was just being needy, but really he was just not communicating his feelings at all, not avoiding everything, making her probably feel crazy.
Yeah. And I hate to say it, but they did make her look like a little clingy and a little crazy on the show.
But they probably showed us 4 moments in the whole time
they
that
probably
he was
did
like
that on purpose.
100%.
And like you're also at the beginning of a relationship. It's exciting. You want to be with that person.
Literally just moved into Vancouver together. You have no job commitments.
It's literally the definition of a honeymoon stage. Like, it's exciting.
Nothing happening. Like, wouldn't you want to be just? I don't
exactly.
know. I spend so much time with my partner. We've been dating for 2.5 years, and I still like have no problem spending.
No, and that's
days
the
and days
thing.
together
like,
all the time.
It was exciting for her, and I totally get that. But this is why, like, I feel like for people who are casted who are a little older, they're on this show. You could tell they're on this show to find their person.
Right.
The younger cast, on the other hand, we don't know what they're there for. I mean, we have an
apparently
idea.
had a dream to be on reality TV from
Chris,
the reunion.
I think, talked about being on Survivor, like, his entire time talking on the reunion.
He's going to be on Perfect Match.
Yeah, which is so annoying. Like, out of everyone you could have casted, why him?
I know.
Like, why are you giving him what he wanted? So kind of pissed about that.
I kind of low-key, like, sorry, Libby and Andrew, but, like, I kind of wish they didn't work out so Libby could be on Perfect Match. Because she would have been a good one.
She would have been fun to watch, too. Like, no, that makes me kind of angry that he...
But how did he get on Perfect Match?
He's not even that cute. He kind of just gives
to me that just proves... It's so funny because they were literally talking about how he was there for the wrong reasons and he was just leading her on so that he could get to the end, and that he even made, like, potentially a pact with someone else earlier on to make it to the end, and then all of a sudden he's like trying to deny all this, being like, no, I'm gonna be on Perfect Match.
Why are they awarding these sketchy men?
I know, they just awarded him.
It's not cool. I'm not okay with it. So let's
I don't even really want to talk about them
anymore. So
that was enough.
That was more than enough. But leading from that, because I saw something afterwards about this couple, John and Theresa. I'm like embarrassed to say this but like I was really rooting for them at the beginning of the season. I was really rooting for them.
I
know you feel differently.
No, it's not that I wasn't not rooting for them. I just knew from like quite literally their second date that it wasn't gonna work out.
I feel like they made him seem like the innocent one the whole time and made her look more like the villain.
I actually have a lot of opinions on this because, I mean, there's a lot to talk about within their journey throughout the whole show.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot to talk about in their reunion recap. I feel like they are definitely like the main focus of this show.
Yeah.
But I was kind of reading through comments of the reunion because obviously people can comment directly under the reunion. And I would say almost every single comment was like, I'm Team John, I'm Team John, I'm Team John.
From the reunion?
From the reunion.
Okay, that surprises me because I thought the reunion was making him look bad.
So this is why I feel like this is going to be a good conversation because I don't think we need to be team anyone, first of all. But I think there's a lot of things, moving parts in this from what we understand. And I don't think anyone was necessarily fully in the wrong. I think in a relationship, it's never just one person.
Yeah.
I do think there are some things about Theresa for sure that I'm like, okay, you can't always say that. Like, you're not only the only victim in this relationship. So there's things there. But like, one thing that just talking about the show itself, like I knew that they weren't going to last from like date 2. Because
really?
Yes, because
I was fooled.
the reason why, and I hate to say this, and I do think this is a huge reason as to why they didn't work out, is I don't think Theresa could ever accept their age gap. You could tell from like their first date. Like I think she like in the first date was like kind of just flowing with it, but immediately just from things she was saying, she could not handle the age gap. I don't care what she says. She keeps saying, it's not an issue. It is. It was an issue for you. It always was.
Well, she brought it up a lot. Like, she talked about that a lot.
And I could just tell, of course, before they knew each other's ages, she knew that he was young. And she already, like, I could already tell that even if she was trying to tell herself she was accepting it, I don't think she was. Like deep down it was hard for her, but I think she was just trying to convince herself that it wasn't hard or it wasn't an issue. I did think it was interesting she constantly brought up throughout the whole show that like there's a double standard, which there is, for like older women dating younger men, or like it's super normal for like older men to date younger women, but at the same time I don't know if there's a huge double standard. I feel like it's more common to see older men with younger women, but I don't think most of the time everyone's like, huh?
I feel like if anything, people are more judgmental younger girls are dating older men. Like, I mean, yeah, it might happen more, but like people aren't okay with it. Like, I
think it's more the norm for older men to date younger women. Like, no one really questions when an older man is dating a younger woman. But I also think when it's like an age gap that large, I don't think it's accepted as easily with older men. Like, it happens a lot, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know.
Do you think that if she didn't have children his age, that the age gap would have been different? Like, she would have handled it differently?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so, because I think it really came from, and I say this with love because everyone has insecurities, but I think it was like an insecurity thing a little bit, of like her feeling like because she was older, potentially couldn't give him everything that he would want, or you know what I mean, like almost like I'm an older woman, like how could you love me over all of these young girls, or do you know what I mean? And I don't know if that's true for sure, but it's just how it came across. But I do want to defend Theresa a little bit with the show, because I think a lot of people were judging her for not telling her kids his age. Everyone was like, why won't you tell? It's the point of the show. Why were her kids the only kids to be flown out? Yes, I understand some of the kids were young. They're not going to come on the TV show. But just because her kids are like in their early 20s or in their 20s, she now has no control over when she could introduce her kids to her partner. Jose, what's his name?
George.
Isn't it?
Jorge. Oh my god,
I'm
sorry,
so
it's spelled like George. That
so
threw me right off.
I'm so sorry.
Jorge, okay.
Jorge. He has kids. What's her? Vanessa has a kid.
Does she?
Yes.
Oh.
And so I'm like, why? I understand.
Okay, but this is why I feel like the whole ordeal was because her kids were the same age as him.
But
and that's why the show ran with it, because they're like, this is interesting.
No,
this
that's
is
what
crazy.
I'm saying, though, is the show
Yeah.
took her life and her children and we're like, this is your plot line.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're like, we're taking your kids are coming in, we're making it this thing for TV. But, like, because maybe Vanessa's plot line or Jorge's kids were, like, that wasn't a plot line.
I don't think Jorge disclosed that he had kids.
But he probably disclosed he had kids to the producers.
Yeah, but Vanelle didn't know.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying they could have made that something. Right. Like, he literally said,
they could have made that a super dramatic plot line.
He literally said that his daughters are the same age as her. And I'm like, why did she have no choice over when her kids got to meet her partner? Just because they're in their 20s doesn't make them not her children and not her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like interesting that the show was like, yeah, your plot line's going to be your kids are coming right now. And like didn't even give her that opportunity to be like, how do I want to introduce my kids to this person in this weird scenario? No one else had to do that. They just had to meet their 60-year-old parents. Like, you know, so I will defend her on that a little bit because I do think it's interesting that like producers specifically made that her plot line.
Yeah.
And then everyone's judging her for not doing that when no one else had to.
Yeah, that isn't fair. And I also don't think it's important for her to disclose his age to her kids.
No,
like,
and
I
like
don't know. And like she said, like I wanted them to get to know him, which is exactly what they were doing. Like it's not like I don't know. Like yes, there's an age gap, and that's the point of the show. But like I don't know, if your mom was dating someone in the real world and like they met, it's not like you're gonna be like, "How old are you, sir?" Like I feel like that's not something that is important. So I found it weird that they were all kind of attacking her for that.
I did think it was odd when she met his family and wasn't like they decided not to disclose that she has kids. That was odd to me.
Yeah,
I totally can understand it's you guys flew my children out, probably not even with her, like not that she needs permission, but like they were probably like, this is the storyline we're doing, your kids are coming out. It didn't seem like she had any type of control. That's
interesting because I thought that they had control over who came.
No. So I feel like she probably didn't have any control about who they picked. They were obviously picking her kids because good TV. And so the fact that she just wanted to have like some control over this situation that was a little uncomfortable for her, I don't judge her for that. But I do think it was odd when they met his family and she didn't like disclose that she has children. Because I'm like, I understand it's your kids, you want to control that. Like, you can decide how you like deal with your kids with this in this situation, but like to just avoid the fact that you have kids to his family didn't make any sense to me because like you're obviously older, so if you disclose you have kids, then it's immediately like, how old are they? I guess.
And then I think that puts a very uncomfortable conversation to have with them. So, like, I do understand that, but I also, like, I get both sides of it.
Yeah. But anyway, I just want to defend her a little bit there, because, yes, there's a lot of things that she did that were, like, I think she was playing a little victim, but in that scenario, it is odd that she was the only one singled out in that scenario. And, like, just because her kids are in their 20s doesn't mean they're not her children. Yeah. And, you know? And, like, anyway. So that was weird to me. We get to the finale, because they did commit, which was surprising to me.
It was, but it wasn't. I think it was. And, like, during her speech, she really made it seem like she was going to leave. But I think her saying that her kids, and obviously they would have said this, but, like, her kids support her no matter what and who she's dating. That would have helped me as a mom a lot, knowing that. But I guess that wasn't enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised that, I don't know, I just thought that she would be like, it's a little too much, because she was talking about the struggle of like accepting what society will think of their relationship. She definitely mentioned that a few times. But anyway, they commit and they're not together anymore, and we learn a little bit more about their relationship in the reunion. I will say though, John on the show, I think he seemed almost too okay with everything. Like,
agreed.
Like, I don't know. He seemed almost like, again, we only see so much. I'm sure they had more conversations we didn't see, but for the conversations we saw, he was very much just like, everything's gonna be fine. You know, like,
Well, I mean,
he also has less to like, less, he doesn't have kids. He doesn't have these things that he has to worry about, right? He's just like, oh, I love you. That's
but
enough.
that's like more of a future thing. Like if you are getting together with someone like this, you might not be able to have your own kids. You might
Right.
like I think I don't know. I feel like they portrayed him as like the nice guy. Like he was just nice about everything. He was sweet, whatever. Sweet. Sorry. But I also think like I'm not saying Theresa looked her age because was definitely younger than I expected her to be. But going into
She's
it,
younger
he knew...
than you expected her to be?
Oh, sorry. She was older than I expected her to be.
Okay.
Going into it before they found out their ages, like, he obviously knew she was older.
Yeah.
Like, he knew he was getting into something with an older woman.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that doesn't bother some people. Like, maybe that genuinely did not bother him. And, I mean, he could just be a really good liar. But, like, from when, like, seeing him talking and stuff, like, it genuinely seemed like it was something he was okay with.
Yeah.
So I can understand why him being so okay with it and then her being the complete opposite, why that would have interfered and made their relationship a little sticky.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I don't even know what else to say about that.
Yeah, no. Well, we can talk about the reunion because this is where we learn that they broke up and okay, so a lot of people are Team John in the comments. Not that I'm on both of their sides here.
Okay, I didn't see the comments, but from just watching it, I thought people were going to hate John. He just wasn't giving straight answers. He was kind of like beating around the bush. Like,
I was very
he
confused.
seemed sketchy, which I was confused about because I've never seen this side of John before.
Yeah, so like it was really interesting to me because I'm not team anybody, first of all. This is a relationship that we know literally barely anything about, and there's always going to be two sides to a story. I'm never going to like, I'm not judging, I'm not putting one of them above the other. I think my end result from this whole thing is they both had different issues that were not gelling together, right? Yeah. And they both did things wrong for sure. I feel like it definitely from Theresa's side felt very, I do think she was struggling with the age gap thing. I do think even though she says she wasn't, I do think she was, maybe in ways she wasn't like fully comprehending. But there was a few things she said that I was like, girl, that's a little manipulative. Like,
I kind of felt like she was just trying to put all the blame onto him. And I'm not trying to be Team John. Like I said, we're not taking teams or anything.
Yeah, she definitely was.
But like, it felt like she was attacking him for a lot of things.
For sure. And
like putting the age issue onto him when he never spoke anything about that.
I think she deep down was insecure about their age gap for whatever reason. And I think she was almost like self-sabotaging.
Yep.
Being like, deep down she was insecure about it, I think, and was like almost trying to test him in a way, like, because she didn't feel secure. Right?
Girls do that.
And I've done that.
Guilty.
I think we've all done that in some way, right? It's like you want to like test your partner because you don't feel safe, right? Like, and so things that she said, why I say that is, I think there was a comment she made saying that she texted him about asking if he wanted to see other people. And to me, I was like, she kept saying, oh, I knew that, like, I just wanted to give you the opportunity to see what you would say. I'm like, that is manipulative. Like, to me, it's giving, I'm insecure that you want to be with younger women, so I'm going to give you the opportunity so that it's a test to see what you say. Not like, I actually genuinely wanted you to just have, like, what? That's so weird. Like, if you're in a relationship and you're like, are you sure you don't want to see other people? Like, that is going to make your partner feel like that everything they're doing for you or how much love they're showing for you is like going right over your head.
Yeah.
You know? So to me, that showed a lot about her in that relationship of like, yeah, I don't want to say like insecurity too much, but like that just, she didn't feel, I don't think it comes across she didn't feel secure in that relationship. Whether that was because of age or just maybe their communication or I don't know. That's what it was giving.
I agree. I think the reunion confirmed that because everything that I was kind of thinking about during the show, I was like, you know what? Maybe they are bigger than this. Maybe they can get past this age gap, handle things in the real world. He seems like he's really good at kind of not letting that get to him, which I would have assumed would help the relationship as a whole together, because if they're both thinking about those things, then yeah, that's never going to work out.
The only thing is like, this is why I'm confused about the Team John comments, is because a lot of people were saying that like it was kind of ganging up on him. And I agree that Theresa was definitely like saying these are the things you did wrong. But with that being said, his present, like, he was giving nothing. Like, he was saying nothing.
I think he was
and
just
that's what was confusing to me. And I think, I don't know, hearing about how like their relationship ended was interesting, being like leaving New York on an unclear ending. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And then not talking.
And
like,
then them talking about...
he thought the relationship was done, but she didn't realize.
And then they were talking about that. I think this was like probably one of the last times they were hanging out, but when they went out for dinner with his sister and the other girl on the show, and then she was kind of making it seem like they were all intentionally talking about things to like make her feel old or something like that, which could be a part of the whole like she's trying to sabotage just thinking about all these things.
Yeah.
But I genuinely kind of feel like he was just so probably exhausted from everything that he didn't even have the energy or the effort to like fight for himself in this. I think he was just so over it, so done, so like no matter what I say is not going to get through to her, that like what's even the point? And like that's kind of the vibe I got. Because even in, like the guys in the back, like Jorge would be like, just speak your truth, speak up. Like,
I know, but I'm like, how hard is it just to be like, this is how I felt? Not like it was being so like...
The only thing I'm picturing is that like he told Theresa 100 times how he felt, what's going on in his head, and it never got through to her, that like now he's sitting there and everyone's asking him to say those things, like repeat it, like just explain how he feels. And he's just so, like, over it.
I don't know. I just feel like every single other couple was, like, they signed up for this show to have, like, a public relationship, put everything out there, and they're all talking about it, and he's kind of being like, well, actually, now I don't want to say anything. And I'm like,
that's what gave me the vibe that he's kind of, like, a bad guy now.
I also found it interesting that he said that he's an anxious attachment.
Yeah.
Because... to me,
I forgot about that.
As someone who is anxiously attached, there's no world that like a relationship that I care about, I'm ending by ghosting them. Yeah. There's never been a world, no matter how hard my relationships ever gotten or been, even if I know it's the worst toxic thing in the world, I'm sticking to the end, because that's how my anxious attachment is the farther you are pushing me, the more I attach to you. Whereas like he apparently almost like, it seems like kind of ghosted her in a way. Like there was a very weird like...
Okay, but that was also weird because she was saying how she was trying to like text him one night and he wasn't answering. And like, I've been there. I've been the one that doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to text. It doesn't mean I don't love you and I want to break up with you in that moment. It just means I need some friggin' space right now. And I understand you could vocalize that and say it like...
to be fair, I'm not defending Theresa. I feel like Theresa is definitely giving me when I was like 23 years old.
But this one, yes.
So I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to defend her actions. I'm just saying I'm still very intrigued by John's. Like I don't, just because she's acting like I would have acted when I was like young 20s too, doesn't mean that he's innocent.
No, I'm not saying he's innocent.
But
I'm just saying that whole scenario just like kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm like, she's thinking he wants to break up with her because he's not texting her back that night and like making this whole ordeal about it. But like, oh my God, that happens in relationships all the time.
Yeah.
And then them saying like, her saying like, you could have just said like, I'll text you in an hour. It's like, no, some people just need their space sometimes. And I'm not trying to defend John.
She seemed more anxiously attached than him.
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
No, yeah. But I just wish she would have said more, because I'm like, why did, like, you could have just said, you didn't have to like air out all your dirty laundry, but you could have just been like, in my honest opinion, like I feel like you were struggling with this age gap thing and putting it on me. You know, you could have just said something like that.
Oh my god,
There's
a lot that could have been said to like ease whatever the heck happened there.
But I think it was just jarring to see like how he almost seemed like almost love bomby in the show. Not love bomby, but like that's a bad word to use. But like he seemed very just like, I'm in love with you, there's no problems. Like we can make it through everything. And then just to like quite literally being like saying nothing. That was jarring to me.
I think something really crazy must have gone on in that like 8-9 months, because they were like two different people from them, like who they were on the show and then who they were in that reunion. Like that was surprising to me, just seeing like their change in like persona and just like how they felt about the relationship. I don't know. I was just,
but I guess you honestly, you probably are right about the like just kind of over it thing, because I feel like if I was in a relationship where someone was like constantly questioning whether I this is gonna work, or if I love them over and over and over, you kind of just probably detach.
Oh my god, you don't care anymore.
Yeah,
hate to say it, but you don't.
Right, because she definitely seemed more like emotionally still invested in the reunion than he did.
Yeah, agreed.
But at the same time, I just wish he would have said something. Give us something.
Yeah, Theresa gave us a lot.
I didn't like, though, that I felt like this is where Nick, I feel like, is not the greatest host, because in this scenario he wasn't like a unbiased host, right? Like as a host, I feel like you should be trying to get both sides of the story, trying to like fully, but I feel like he was almost just team Theresa, and he was, and so I can understand why maybe like John was like, John is his name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why he maybe didn't want to like open up as much, if it just felt like Theresa and Nick kind of coming at him to give explanations for things. You know, if Nick would have approached it being like, hey, I totally see your side of this now. This is like, can you share more about that? Maybe he would have said more. Like maybe it was a scenario where like he didn't feel comfortable sharing anything, because it kind of just felt like Nick was just team Theresa and you're the young guy that doesn't know anything.
I kind of feel like when it comes to like the reality world, that you obviously have to be careful about like what you're saying, what you're doing. But I think that people sometimes get a little nervous to go against a woman nowadays. And like that, I could be wrong about that, but like,
what do you mean?
I mean, like, I think there would have been more of a problem if the hosts were being team John instead of team Theresa. Like, you could never be team John against Theresa, but you can be team Theresa against John.
Why?
It's just how I feel like from what I'm seeing on like in the world and stuff now. I don't know.
Lauren.
Are we gonna have to talk about this?
Not again.
No, I don't mean that in like a.
But that's kind of what you're saying.
You don't know what I'm trying to say, or what I mean.
You're trying to say that it's okay to like team up against a man, but it's like not socially acceptable to team up against a woman.
Why? Yeah, you said that well. That's pretty much what I'm saying. It's like there's nothing like specific that's making me think that. It's just,
I don't think that's true at all, though. I think
hope it's not true.
Women are way more socially bullied and criticized than men across every platform. Socially, it's way more socially acceptable to hate on women for anything.
Not when you're hosting, though. I think like in the real world, the TikTok, the whatever, like, yeah, people bully women like crazy and it's awful. But I think when you're on a reunion and like when you have a podcast too, like you got to be really careful about what you're saying, what you're doing, or else like your business is kind of on the line.
But why? Why do you think that?
I just kind of felt it with how like Nick was.
I don't think Nick was doing it.
I don't know if he was doing it intentionally, but it just kind of felt like, and I'm okay with him being team woman, like 100%. But like, I feel like he was just more willing to like, yeah, be team woman, even if like the man was kind of in the wrong.
I don't think that was the scenario. I don't think it had to do with gender personally. because I think people are being like, if you're looking at the comments.
And I didn't see the comments, so this is me just like
Yeah,
biased.
but like that's what I'm saying though. I think
yeah.
it's really easy for people. As soon as Theresa does one thing wrong, it doesn't matter what John does. Everyone's team John.
See, but that's like I was saying though. That's like the world. That's like the bullies on the internet.
But
like the host himself, like you have to be careful what you're saying.
I don't
Because you don't
no.
wanna get
If you know
canceled.
Nick does not care about being canceled. Nick says things on every episode that are going to get him canceled.
Really?
Oh yes, 100%. Nick got his podcast from being controversial. That's why his podcast thrived at the beginning, is because he would say things that like maybe not everyone would want to say. So that did work in his favor for a little bit, but it also makes him canceled all the time. He doesn't care. He gets canceled every week. I don't think it had anything to do with like gender. I don't think it had anything to do with him being careful about his podcast getting canceled. I just think in this scenario, he was like maybe relating to Theresa more and like was assuming that because John wasn't saying anything that he was hiding something.
That's fair.
Because
he
literally,
totally could have been.
the thing is, John, I don't think he's a bad guy, but like I don't understand why we're just excusing potentially anything he might have done in the relationship because he wasn't saying much.
Well, see,
and I'm not
that's the
saying
thing is,
Teresa's
I found,
innocent.
like,
I'm not saying she's
I found
innocent.
like he made himself look really bad in that interview and more like a villain.
But most people, because Theresa showed a few insecurities, which I agree with, she was showing some things that she should probably work on for a relationship. But we all have things that we do toxically in a relationship sometimes. We've all been immature. We've all done the wrong thing in a relationship or made a bad move. And it's like everyone's so easy just to be like, Theresa is the problem and she's so insecure. You know, it's like, sure, she could be insecure. And I even just said that. But like, it doesn't necessarily mean John is just this angel now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I'm not saying we don't know because he didn't tell us anything. So we have no idea as to like and even if he said stuff, we would never really know. No. Do you know what I mean? So it's like everyone just kind of like us are making assumptions based off this small amount of information, but I don't think it had to do with Nick wanting to be not being canceled because he wasn't going to defend a woman. He is literally not that person. He'll say whatever. And also I just don't think that's true.
Okay. Moving on from that. Speaking of John still though, I saw a clip, like a TMZ photo or a clip of him and Leah after the show.
Leah? Oh yeah, Leah. Oh my gosh, sorry.
Who's also single right now.
John and Leah?
Yeah, they were getting handsy sitting
really
together. Yeah, so John's into the older women, like we can establish here. And I can honestly, like when I saw that, I was like, this makes sense to me. Yeah. I can totally see them being in a couple together.
I mean,
not sure if it means anything, but like
Leah was so funny. Her facial expressions throughout the whole reunion were hilarious. People in the comments were like, she really needs to work on that. I'm like, I loved it. I
wish I was reading these comments during it.
I can't watch. That's my toxic trait, is I can't watch a YouTube video without just reading the comments. Like I'll be like an hour in just reading every comment.
That's so funny.
So comment on this podcast. No, I love reading the comments.
Maybe I would have had a different
toxic in there though. It's
view of everything if I read the comments.
See, my opinion didn't change. I was just like, I was actually really surprised.
My opinions can change quickly if I see, which is so bad. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I just get persuaded fast.
Who else was even on this show?
Who else?
Yeah, who did we not talk about?
The last couple was Vanessa and...
we also didn't talk about Vanelle.
Oh, and Jorge?
Yeah.
The biggest age gap. Which was crazy.
I honestly forgot that they were on... They literally left maybe like 2 episodes early. And then when they were on the reunion, I was like, oh, I forgot they were on the show.
I didn't. Theirs was the craziest relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I think the craziest thing that... I mean, I don't think he looks like necessarily 60, but I would have pinned him at 58.
I thought maybe... I was thinking 50.
He was definitely in his 50s.
I was thinking 50. And it's crazy because when I thought of him as being 50, I was like, you're a hot 50-year-old. And then he said he was 60, and it just made me very uncomfortable. So I saw a side of him, and then I heard his age, and I hate to say that age like affects things, but like to me it really did hearing that number.
It is kind of funny that like yeah, Theresa was talking about the double standard, but it's like maybe I'm not a part of the norm, because like when an older woman's dating a younger man, I'm like, yes, girl, like, but when an older man's dating a younger woman, I'm like,
Why?
that's probably for the wrong reasons. And I will be judgmental about that. I don't care.
No, I mean, once again, they were a couple that I would have been surprised if they made it
Right.
past the 5th episode, let alone like to the very end.
Well, I mean, she was saying in the promise room that like I don't think she was like, I hope he's not over 42 or something.
Yeah. Like,
Like, girl, you thought he was 42?
he looks great for his age. I'll give him that.
No, yeah, I'm not judging his age.
But then it's
like,
crazy because then he looks like he could be like 40s, 50s. But then when you see like Derek's in his 40s, 50s, 40s,
oh, yeah,
and
Derek
it's
looks
like,
good for his age.
holy, Derek looks real good for his age. I'll give him that. But no, that was Jorge just went like his age showed in this podcast or reunion.
He was like
I guess.
the dad.
Oh my god, he would not stop talking. He reminded me of my grandpa. Like actually, like once he just started talking, like and talking.
Their
it's
segment was very long though.
it's because he would not stop talking.
I think I did end up skipping through some of their segment because it was like 45 minutes.
No, and it was a long time. And he was like a slow talker too, and that's why I feel like it dragged on a bit. And like very wise man, like said the right things, sure, but like it was just a lot.
I mean, I think like I don't think he's not wise, but I think he thinks he knows everything.
Yes,
but what 60-year-old man doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're all the same.
But yeah, so their relationship ended early. They obviously didn't commit because they broke up early, because it seemed, at least from what we saw again, her celibacy, which isn't really celibacy.
Yes, they made that very clear. Abstinence. That's what it was.
Well, I always think, okay, listen, I this is something I do truly want to understand, because I don't like, I don't know, when people say that they're becoming celibate and then they don't want to have sex before marriage because
celibate,
but they have in the past.
Celibate isn't just sex though.
Oh.
Like when he was explaining it, he made it sound like, oh, priests, nuns go celibate, like whatever. I think like the real big difference is celibate is like you're not doing any sexual acts at all, whereas abstinent is you're just not only having sex.
Right.
And I think she was saying she was celibate but was actually abstinent because her and him were still like fooling around a bit.
Yeah. See, this is one thing I feel like this has been brought up in like other TV shows and reality situations before, where it's like someone is like born again celibate. Yeah. And well, I totally respect that. To each their own, whatever they want to do. I also can understand why a partner could struggle with that concept, because not that struggle with like them choosing to be abstinent, that's totally fine, but I do feel like I could see people having a little bit of a struggle with the fact that it's like you have not been celibate for most of your life and now you choose to be, which is totally your decision. But I could see how that could be like hard for someone dating someone who maybe doesn't believe in that same concept.
Yes, for a 6-year-old man who's thinking he's about to get with a 25-year-old woman, also, I don't think he's thinking. Also,
I'm not talking about I'm not talking about just them in general. I'm just saying. I'm saying overall. I could see why it could be difficult to be like, if you weren't celibate with all of these people before me and now you choose me as your partner, your wife, your husband, whoever it is, you now are following that, but you were totally fine with other people before. Yeah. That's a concept I do like.
But it's also something I feel like you usually discuss before starting to date. Like, I mean, yeah. You disclose that to your partner or to this person you want to be your partner before like you're committing to them fully, because that's kind of important. Like,
yeah, that was very interesting. That
important thing, but like when you're in a relationship, like being intimate is pretty important.
Oh yeah,
and I mean for him to, I think she waited till after.
She waited till after they revealed their ages, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So like after they promised to go to Vancouver together. And again, this is not me saying like, I'm not justifying how Jorge acted in terms of like, I don't know, it didn't come across really great in Vancouver. I'm not justifying that. I'm just saying in general, I think could have been brought up a little bit earlier. And also I do understand why in general that concept can be difficult for people to comprehend when you haven't been celibate your whole life.
Yes.
And also, she's not celibate, it's abstinence.
Yeah. She's still having fun.
But anyway, also I think they had I skipped through this section, but I think there was also how he treated someone on the streets of Vancouver.
Yeah.
I skipped through it, so I don't know.
I watched it because they kind of explained it briefly like during the show, but
So what
never
happened?
really elaborated.
I was trying to picture this like this is downtown Vancouver.
No, I think it was literally downtown Vancouver, and I think some guy just like yelled something at them or at her or something, and then he was just telling him to like back off, and then this guy kept like following them,
Right.
and like the way Jorge explained it was like he was right behind Vanille. And so he was feeling threatened. But the way Vanille was explaining it was, he was still a block away. Like, he was so far.
Right.
And then this guy kept talking. And then Jorge was just like, hey, can you, like, back the hell up? Like, and then kind of threatened him a bit. And then right when he threatened him, the guy left. And the way they both explained it were kind of different. Which, obviously, you get two stories. You never really know which is the right one. But I don't know, it seemed like for the most part, a lot of them, I couldn't really tell whose side they were on. Like, no one was really picking sides. But Derrick actually kind of popped in and was just like, I totally understand that when you are dealing with people like that, you kind of pretty much have to big dog them or else they're not going to go away. Because the way Jorge was saying was if I didn't stand up for my woman and like for this situation, then he would have just kept bugging us. So, I don't know. It was kind of like a weird, obviously, like, it could have felt really threatening to her. And, like, to see your partner who you've just been with for, like, a short amount of time, like, be aggressive to a stranger can kind of be, like, I don't know, scary, especially if you're not used to it.
Yeah.
But also, I kind of understand the perspective of him wanting to protect his woman.
See, when I heard this, because, like, obviously Canada and the States, I think, I feel very different in my mind. Yeah. Like when I'm on the streets in the US somewhere and I'm on the streets in Canada somewhere, I feel very different threat levels.
Yes.
We're from Canada, by the way. And so when I heard about this, or when I heard it, I was like, I don't think the situation was that serious. Never in my life walking in Canada. Sometimes I felt uncomfortable. Yeah. There's been moments in situations where I'm like, this is kind of an uncomfortable situation, but like very, 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 very rarely have I ever felt truly unsafe with a situation on the streets. So it's like, I think maybe his like experiences in his world, in his life, maybe to him it felt more threatening than it actually probably was. And to her, like, yeah, I mean, she didn't seem to be that worried about it. So it gives me the perception that like it probably wasn't that serious, but like through his learned experiences, it was like bigger than it maybe was.
But she kind of made it seem like that was like one of the reasons why, not the full reason why they're not together anymore, but like one of the reasons why she stepped off.
Because I've been in like situations and like dating relationships where the way someone treats like people in public is huge for me. Yeah. And the way someone treats others is huge for me. So if I was in a scenario where I was like, I truly don't think that was called for, and like someone reacted a way that I didn't think was acceptable, that would probably turn me off forever.
And that's why it was kind of hard to like judge. Obviously, like we don't know what happened and we wouldn't know unless we were right there. But it was hard to like judge the scenario because they were both kind of saying two different things, like, which
the reason why I'm not saying that he was in the wrong, but I don't think the situation was as maybe intense or like, I don't know, if she wasn't feeling worried about it, like as a woman, if you're feeling scared about something, you know when you feel scared. Yeah. You know, so if she truly was like, everything's fine, he's just this person on the streets being kind of annoying, you know what I mean? He might have made a situation feel bigger than it actually was.
And that's kind of what I think happened. And then he was obviously trying to defend what he was doing.
And like maybe to him that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the thing, is like maybe the actions of this person, like that was a big deal to him and he didn't like it. And he reacted the way that he felt it was, you know?
Yeah.
But like maybe to her she was like, truthfully, in Canada, if you kind of just ignore people, if someone's like, hey, like treating you uncomfortably,
truthfully, the best thing to do is ignore them. And I know he explained that like ignoring people just like makes them more mad and like pisses them off more. But I feel like from what we've learned, like from what my experience, you gotta ignore them, or else that's just gonna like set them off more. Or
most
like
people, like, yeah. Anyway, I don't know what the situation was or who was bothering them or whatever, but like, I've never felt truly unsafe in the world here in Canada. So that's just my experience.
It was like daylight. There was other people around. Like,
it's probably just someone being annoying. Like, it is what it is. But anyway, they're not together.
Moral of the story, they've been broken up. I wonder if she'll get back. Do you remember she was dating someone else who she was torn between?
Oh yeah, that man, he was,
and he actually seemed like a really sweet guy.
Oh, I know, he was so, I hope he's doing well.
Same.
What was his name?
I forget his name too.
Jordan?
But they didn't even bring him up. And I mean, I guess
it probably wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, but like, even, I don't know, like that was the only two that were like love triangle, I'd say. So I'd be curious if she was ever like thinking about him again.
Yeah.
Because I would think about that. Like, if only I chose this guy, like what would have happened?
Yeah, I feel like she didn't choose him for a reason though.
Because Jorge was just like making her tingly.
Okay, so honestly, our last couple shockingly engaged.
Which is so funny because they were like the first couple I thought that was gonna break up.
They were like one of the only couples I was like, yeah, they're for sure
no
not gonna
chance.
End. But again, maybe it was just the edit. Like, maybe we just got it. I feel like maybe they made that edit that way so that when they did get engaged, it was shocking. Which it
worked.
Was.
Yeah, it worked. Even like when he took off her, like, said no first, like they took off the rings.
The engagement, I was like, she literally started insulting him.
No, literally.
He's like, I'm gonna have to ask for the ring back. And she's like, well, guess I should have gone with my gut.
Yeah. She's just
fired up. She just literally starts immediately insulting him. And he's like, no, actually, I want to marry you. She's like, oh.
No, that was crazy. So, like, I actually appreciate that editing. Because, like, once again, we don't love a predictable ending.
No,
and, like, that was, like, whoa. They're still together. I assume they still are, too. I think I looked it up today. And they're still, as of the internet, together today.
Yeah. Which, I guess, surprises me, but only because I feel like that's what they wanted us to feel. Yeah. Like, they had a lot of difficult conversations, though, which, I mean, I guess actually makes sense, like, for growing in a relationship and knowing what's actually going to work and not work.
Yep. They had a hard time in the bedroom starting out.
Also, speaking of the bedroom, like, why did they, like, show us so much? That was so uncomfortable.
I don't know. It was giving Love Island.
I'm like, I didn't need to hear any of that.
No.
You could have just said goodnight and then be like, it's
funny because I think that's even like Theresa and John.
I'm like,
there was
her kids.
I know. Like, you're doing it to the women with kids? Are you kidding me? No, that was surprising.
That really, I think it. I don't know if they expected it because, like, just kind of quickly going to, like, Theresa literally or even Vanessa too. They'd be like, not gonna say what happened last night, but you know. And I'm like, we know.
Yeah, wait.
We know,
girl. You don't have to say anything. Yeah, no, that was surprising.
That was so. Oh my gosh, yeah.
But no, they're cute.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just wish we got to know them more, because, like, I feel like they were editing it at least, or maybe they were just showing us the parts where it seemed like he was not as into it, and she, I don't know, it made it seem like he wasn't interested for, like, most of the season.
Yeah. Like, the whole time. I also feel like when there's so many couples that they're tracking, it's so hard to, like, actually get good insight onto each relationship.
But, like, also, even Vanessa, because I'm pretty sure it was in the reunion where she has a child with, I think, one of her previous relationships.
How
and I'm
old
like,
is her kid?
That's the thing, is, like
they're
probably in their 20s too.
You think so? I was expecting, if anything, like a 5-year-old.
She's 50, 50? 51? 50? She's in her 50s. Or I think maybe she was 49 turning 50.
Yeah. Wait, that's a good point.
Not that you can't have a 5-year-old, but I feel like if she had a younger child, it would have been more of a conversation in the show.
Well, I don't even think they talked about her having a kid in the show.
Like,
I do
think
not
if it was,
remember this
if she
at
had a
all.
child that was, I have to look this up, but I could have sworn that in the reunion they mentioned her having a child, a child.
Huh.
But if that's the case, then like it's interesting that wasn't a plot line for her.
Guess it wasn't an issue.
Or like if she had a child under 18, I'm pretty sure that would have been a plot line as well, because like he would have to be,
like, maybe.
but that's why I'm assuming this child is like a fully functioning adult on their own.
Yeah, but once again, I feel like they'd talk about that, because was he in his 30s or was he 20s? Now I'm starting to think he was in his 30s.
I could be making this up.
Does she even have a kid? Can someone confirm? Because I'm unsure.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that was all the couples.
Yeah, that was it.
I don't know. I don't know if I would watch another season.
I found it crazy that they did say that I think there was like 4 couples that didn't have age gaps.
Yeah.
That made
it.
Which I understand why they didn't track them. But like,
yeah.
it's just kind of funny to me that there were other couples that actually worked out.
That'd be a pretty fun way to like meet your partner. It's like, where'd you guys meet? Oh, on this reality TV show, but it's just in the archives.
Yeah. No, literally. There's just that little small.
We met on
scene
reality
then.
TV, but you never will ever see it.
No, they didn't actually air us at all. We weren't interesting enough. But that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows if they're still together?
I wonder
but
if next year they'll do it in Vancouver again.
probably cheaper.
I feel like they should just like do people who are all from the same place, kind of like how Love is Blind. Another Love is Blind season is already coming out soon, I think.
Are you sure?
I saw the announcement of all the cast.
I think that was an April Fool's joke.
I don't know.
Because I saw that too on April Fool's, and I had to like...
But I saw someone online.
What city? We'll get back to you on that.
What? Philadelphia?
Why? Okay, I was actually thinking that in my head.
I know, I don't know.
Okay, maybe it is.
That could be wrong.
No, that...
We're from Canada.
No, that could be telepathy, because I was thinking that too.
But I think I swear that I first saw... Okay, maybe the cast announcement was not real, but before that even happened, I feel like weeks ago, I saw someone say, I'm at this restaurant right now, and they're filming Love is Blind.
How do they know it was Love is Blind?
Because they had the gold chalice stuff, like the... You know how like they have all the gold cups?
Like chalice it?
I don't know why I
Like,
called it a chalice, but...
I guess it kind of is. I guess,
gold
yeah.
wine cups and
They're
stuff.
the only show that does that.
And then a bunch of people in the comments, again, I don't know if I trust the comments, but they're like, oh yeah, like...
Well, usually they, at the Love is Blind reunions, they'll show cast members for the next season, which they didn't do this year.
Right.
So it makes sense that they'd be filming right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, again, I think I've said this, but I want Love is Blind, but in a cool city. I want like a hip Love is Blind. Like Love is Blind, New York City.
Like San Francisco.
Like, yeah, we need something we need to spice up the crowd.
Like Miami.
Yeah, like, Love it. If the couples aren't going to work anyway, let's just do Love is Blind Miami.
They'd all be hot. I assume.
Love is Blind.
Oh, there
on a
was
boat.
another. No, literally Love
Love
Overboard. There's. I don't know if you saw this, but I know we've been talking for a while, so I'll make this quick. But
wow, we chat.
I know. See, we're good when we have something to talk about. Alex Cooper is doing this new show on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah.
Called the Winter Games.
Okay.
With the Unwell Network. And they've dropped 2 episodes.
Oh, they have.
Yes. And I watched them yesterday. It is a very controversial cast.
Interesting.
Yes, it is interesting, actually.
Like who?
Well, Dakota's on it. Taylor Frankie Paul's baby daddy. Which people are pissed about. That they're even giving him screen time when her season got cancelled.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Huda and Louis are on it.
Ew. Sorry, that was rude. That was a natural reflex.
No, they're messy.
No,
They're
okay,
messy.
this is like I'm just
But-
so over this, like,
Okay, no, but this is why. No, but that's I think was the point. Was like she's picking people that like probably shouldn't get more screen time and
no, that's what I'm saying.
attention.
There's like, why are we giving these people more, like, why is the reality world turning into like, if you're the most controversial person ever, you're like,
No, literally. Do you know Anna Delvey?
yes, she on it.
She's on it. She's got her ankle monitor on.
Why? Okay, guys, no.
And then the funny, actually, two people that are on it. Everyone else is like kind of influencer, TikTok stars, like random. But do you remember Serena and Joe from Bachelor Nation?
Yeah, are they on it?
They're on it.
Which
is
controversial
so
at all.
funny
They're like
because
literally the nicest people
they're
ever.
like Bachelor Nation ABC network, which is like so beyond opposite to like the TikTok influencer Hulu worlds that like you could just tell they're like they don't fit quite in. Which is
What's
so
the
funny.
concept? Is it like
Serena actually went to my university
at
when
the
I was
same
there.
time as you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you're making a podcast about her.
Yeah, I know. So crazy. The concept is literally like they was filmed in February. They're in Utah.
Okay.
They're at like a ski resort. And they're just doing a bunch of stupid challenges. They're in two teams. So far,
it's like
the challenges have consisted of snow tubing, trivia, and beer pong. And they all just live in a house together. And like they kind of win money for challenges sometimes.
Is there like an do you win at the end, or
I don't really know, to be honest.
I don't know. I just feel like we don't need to be giving everybody screen time.
No.
You know?
I mean, the selection of people she picks, probably not.
I just like,
But
why
like
do we
I'm the
have
type
to-
of person that like that makes me want to watch it more.
See, I don't. I'm like, there's a certain level of like, I love the drama. Of course, reality TV is drama, but at a certain point, I'm like, we're just rewarding behavior that is not great.
That's exactly what this is.
And you know what? There's shows out there like Love on the Spectrum where people are the most genuine human beings you'll ever see, and that is something that
Okay,
we
like
could.
Love on the Spectrum, I actually just cry the entire time I'm watching it because they're so wholesome.
This season
I'm a
4.
Connor's my guy. Big fan.
So season 4 is.
Have you watched the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing,
Oh my
and is
God.
by far the best season they've had yet.
Really?
So good. Like me and my partner Ben, shout out Ben, timestamp 120. I'm just kidding. We binged it all weekend because where we're living is basically middle of winter still. Anyway, yeah, I loved the first 3 seasons, but this season was just so well done. I think it's because we have like obviously continuing cast members, but we get to like know them even more. Like it's not just like everyone's going on a first date. It's almost like following their story and following their life. And I want to Love is on the Spectrum spin-off where it's just like it's just watching them. Like
I would love that.
like I love learning about their life, and like those are the types of people that I want to watch on TV. You know, this season was just so good. Like there's some new new cast members.
Yep. I saw a couple because I watched the first episode.
Yeah, and they're oh my God, everything is just like this season is just so well done. Everyone is amazing. The last episode I cried.
See, I cried at the first.
I cried every episode. I cried every
I had
episode.
to give myself some time.
But-
literally, when Madison and her cowboy were on their date, I forget his name. I feel so bad.
I just love that it's like showing that people can be honest and open in their relationships, and like that's good TV.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? It's like we don't need to see the fighting and the craziness. Like
No.
I love watching people just being open and honest with each other and their relationships.
I also love how just like simple everything is. Like they just want to get to know each other, what their favorite colors are, what they like doing. Like it doesn't have to be like this big, I don't know, like this big thing.
They're true to who they are. They're being
Exactly.
true to who they are, and that's what I love about it, you know? And so it just shows though that we don't need all this crazy drama that is like beyond just like entertainment for TV. Like why are we I love reality TV, but it's just anyway, I wish there was Love on the Spectrum like 24/7 because I guess I could just follow them on Instagram.
I follow Connor
Yeah.
and Tanner.
Yeah.
But I didn't see
Tanner's not on this season.
I was gonna say I didn't see him in the first episode.
Yeah, but it's because he's not focusing on love right now.
Good for him.
Yeah. But no, yeah, it's such a great season. And anyway, I think that's it for now.
Yeah. If you're here still, thanks. Thanks for hanging out. We'll chat next week again.
Yes.
Leave a comment, subscribe, like.
And thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye.